Guys, how are we doing? And welcome back to another video. This is UFC Vinicius Oliveira versus Mario Bautista. Not a great card looking back on it. I want to emphasize why I wasn't breaking it down because I was sick for a couple of weeks, guys. But we are back and we're firing and we're getting ready to go. And Christos and I have chatted more, and we're going to go all in here with this little side hustle that we do, which is breaking down UFC. It's our passion. We love it. On Saturdays, we just sit together, we watch all the fights. We take our notes on the fighters we were watching. We're getting some text back from UFC fighters, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I'm just excited to go, guys, and get it firing for you boys. We're gonna be posting on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, stuff like that. Try and get our name out there, and hopefully more people can reach out to us, and we can build a big community here. So this is the Fighters Forecast, and welcome back to a breakdown of a card I wish I broke down, but I was too sick. So I'm going to give you guys my honest picks that I would have picked and why, and how the fight went. So first fight, we don't really do women's MMA here, not to be a fucking sexist prick, but I just don't do it here. We got fucked too many times on women's fights. We don't even look at it. We just go right to the men's fights. It is what it is. Next fight, we got Jacob Wilklax against Munin Gafarov. Guys, in full transparency, I picked Munin Gafarov in this fight. He should have won, but he's a retard. I thought his fight IQ would have been higher. He was winning the fight striking wise against Jacob Wilklax. Everyone knows Jacob Wilklax is a sub guy. Everyone knows that. Muin was absolutely lighting this guy up on the feet. That was his path to victory. It was straight and simple. And then he shoots a takedown in the last round, in the final 20, 30 seconds of the fight, and gets submission. He gets guillotined by Jacob Wilklaps in the last second. One of the most absolutely bizarre fights I've ever watched. I don't understand the fight IQ from a UFC fighter. You are tagging this guy all fight long on the feet. And you go, yeah, fuck it. I'm just going to shoot a takedown head first to the guy that's only good with subs. Cool, whatever. Next fight we have Javid Basharat against Gianni Vasquez. Basharat looked good here, man. I don't understand why they cut him. It wasn't impressive, but he's not a bum. I believe he should be given another chance. I think he looked fine in this matchup. I know it was against Gianni Vasquez. Nobody kind of knows that guy. He's kind of a short fill-in here, but Javid Basharat looked all right, man. He dropped Gianni Vasquez. I thought he looked good, and I picked Javid Basharat as well. Next fight, we have Nikolai Vernatenikov against Nico Price. We picked Nikolai Vernatenikov here because Nico Price is done, guys. Nico Price is finished. Everyone knew that here. Pretty obvious pick. Vernatenikov put him out cold. Looked pretty good in this matchup too. So it's pretty good. I want to see Vernatenikov, kind of keep the momentum going. Keep giving him fun fights. No need to cut Nico Price right now, because he is just a fun fighter who's gritty and will put his all into the fight. But Vernatenikov, just a better man. Nico Price is just too old. He's too washed. Nice front by Nico Vernatenikov there, to be honest. Next fight, we have one of Tennant's hype trains here. It is Daniil Donchenko against Alex Morono. Daniil Donchenko is one of Tennant's hype trains. The striking of Daniil Donchenko is something you have to worry about in this 170-pound division. This guy is an absolute monster on the feet. The short elbows, the cross elbows, the front elbows from Daniil Donchenko is beautiful to watch. I love it a lot. This guy looks fantastic. He won the Ultimate Fighter. He looked great in this matchup. Alex Morono was a lamb there to get slaughtered. And Danil Danchenko did exactly that. Not put him out cold, but he beat him up for 3 straight rounds. He looked phenomenal in this matchup. I was all over him. I know the odds were outrageous, but we were all over Danil Danchenko in this matchup. Morono, he looked good. Like, he looked all right. He kept in the fight. He stayed in the fight. He kept swinging, which was fun to watch. But he's just on a 4-fight skid. I understand why they cut him. Alex Morono, you will be missed, but your fight IQ won't. Next fight, we got Dustin Jacoby against Julius Walker. Dustin Jacoby was my lock of the night in this card. I did not understand how Julius Walker could be even close to a pick'em here against Dustin Jacoby. It made zero sense to me. Dustin Jacoby had that lock symbol beside his name. He looked fantastic, even on short notice. I do not care. Dustin Jacoby looked phenomenal. The boxing looked great. He was beating Julius Walker in most of the exchanges. Julius Walker, he's not a great fighter, guys. He needs to develop more in the semi-professional other organizations. Dustin Jacoby is a real level UFC fighter. He's fought good competition, and it showed here. This was an old school schooling here from Dustin Jacoby in the striking. He looked great, and it showed. But he won by KO, phenomenal. He gets that lock symbol, and yes, sir, we love it, Dustin. Keep it going, brother. Farid Basharat takes on Gene Matsumoto. I was on Farid Basharat here. This is the better Basharat brother. He's just more complete. He has a funner, like a more fun style. I don't want to say funner, that's not a word, but whatever. He has the more fun style. He's better in the boxing, better in the kickboxing. He has better ground control and positional control well on the ground. I was very, very fond, very, very fond of Gene Matsumoto. I like that guy a lot. I think he's a great, great prospect in this division. And there's an argument that Gene Matsumoto won this fight. In my opinion, he did not. But I could definitely see how someone could say he did win the fight. Free Bashra, in my opinion, he just was cleaner, he was faster, and he was better in this matchup. And, it got it done, and I was happy for that. He looked phenomenal, very, very clean, very, very slick, had great boxing combinations, had the better wrestling transitions. Free Bashrat, please watch out in the 135 division. Next fight, we got Mikhail Oleksichuk versus Marc-Andre Barriault. This was a great, great matchup, guys. Both swinging back and forth at each other, tit for tat. Oleksichuk, we know he is dangerous in that first round. Marc-Andre Barriault, we know he's a gamer. We know he loves to come ahead and start swinging and throwing from his hips. Both looked pretty good in this matchup. Kind of sloppy, to be honest, but it was more of an entertaining fight. Nikola Jacek was better everywhere. He was faster. He was the better striker. He was the better fighter in this matchup, and it showed. We picked him as well, so I was very, very happy with that. Nikola Jacek got it done. Very, very fun fight to watch. I recommend you guys go watch it if you didn't, but you probably did. So, we get that one right. We move on. We have Rizvan Kunyev against the fraud of Jalton Almeida. What an absolute bum this guy is. Jalton Almeida is an absolute bum. How Jalton Almeida went from this world beater who was subbing guys, ground and pound TKO, to the most boring UFC fighter anybody has ever watched in their lifetime is absolutely ridiculous. This guy was feared in the 205 division. Jalton Almeida was a force to be reckoned with. This guy had some of the cleanest double legs, some of the best control on top. Jalton Almeida was an absolute monster. And he just became a boring guy that would sit on the fence and hold you there. I'm glad he's cut. I'm glad Rizvan Kunyev out Jalton Almeida'd him. Rizvan Kunyev's mid as well, but I'm happy Jalton Almeida's out of here because I picked him. I thought he would really go back to his old self. I thought he'd shoot his nice double legs, takedowns. It did not happen. Jalton Almeida, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should retire from the sport. These last couple performances have been absolutely embarrassing for you. You know, I hope you get better, man, because some of these performances have been absolutely brutal to watch. I believe you have the tools to get better, and I hope you do, man. But these past couple fights have not been good, and yeah, I don't want to see you in the UFC for a little bit. Next, we have Kyocho Horiguchi against Amir Albazi. Is this guy the real deal? Is Kyocho Horiguchi the real deal? This guy has been looking unbelievable. He absolutely killed Tagir Ulanbekov, and he just outclassed Amir Albazi. This guy, I want to remind you guys, his only loss in the UFC is to Demetrius Johnson. Earlier in his career, Kyocho Horiguchi went into the UFC. He beat every single person he fought, apart from the GOAT of the division, which was Demetrius Johnson. He then left. He went back to another promotion, got some wins there, beating everyone, came back, destroyed Tagir Ulanbekov, who I was all over in that matchup, and now destroys Amir Albazi. I picked him in this matchup, which was great. He looked phenomenal. I believe him or Pantoja should get the next title shot. This guy's looked absolutely incredible. And I need to remind you, only loss is to Demetrius Johnson in the UFC. This guy needs a title shot. If not, you give him one more fight against a top-ranked guy like Tatsuro Taira, stuff like that. Kyocho Horiguchi looked absolutely unbelievable. Speaking of looking absolutely unbelievable, Mario Bautista absolutely outclassed Vinicius Oliveira. I was on Mario Bautista, but I was very 50 about this fight, to be quite honest. I thought Vinicius Oliveira could really, really test the cardio of Mario Bautista, and it was the exact opposite. Mario Bautista was all over this guy. Vinicius Oliveira looked like a rookie in this matchup. Bautista was better on the feet, on the ground, in the clinch, everywhere. Mario Bautista, that was one of the best performances I've ever watched in a UFC cage. He looked absolutely unreal. And we need to talk about this guy in title contention. He looked insane in this matchup. He made Vinicius Oliveira quit. He made him quit. Vinicius Oliveira had nothing left in the tank, and he wants to bring up excuses. Oh, my left arm or right arm was broken, whatever, this, that. He got absolutely massacred in this matchup. Mario Bautista calls out Corey Sandhagen after. Give him the fight, give him the rematch he wants. Bautista looks unreal. I hope he beats Corey Sandhagen as well, because that was one of the most complete performances I've ever watched. Thanks, guys, for watching that little breakdown. I'm sorry I couldn't do it before the fight started so I could make you guys some money, but we are going to get this Strickland Hernandez card out soon. And sneaky little preview, we have one of the fighters on there that responds to Tenet. It's Franz to your boy. We're going to be cheering for him and hoping he wins his fight. I'm not going to spoil it, but you will see in the next video who that one fighter is. And I'm excited, man. I hope he gets that dub. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.